A B C D A B C A B C D A B C D. Hold
Okay, just no. I guess you're familiar with Mike and tell us what is your reaction?
Ought to get him and take it. I don't need that, old rabbit. I got enough in my hunting sack already. So he left the rabbit land and continued on down the road. Well, after he got out of sight, old rabbit, he hopped up, cut through the woods, and he came out ahead of Br'er Fox. He laid down on the side of the road and played like he was dead again. Old Br'er Fox, he come walking along. He see the rabbit laying up there all dead. He said, there go another one of them old big, fine, fat rabbits. Wonder what happened to all this rabbit meat around here? All this rabbit going to waste? We can't have that. I'm going to go back there and get that other one, get this one, take them both home to my wife, and she going to be so happy. So he put his hunting sack right here by this rabbit, and he went back there to get the other one. Now, can anybody in this crowd tell me what he found when he got back there? Nothing. All right, we got that one. Can anybody tell me what he found when he got back up here?
Nothing.
You're right again. I got a real smart crowd going today. All right, didn't find nothing here either. Because what happened, old rabbit, he got up, got the hunting sack, took it on home to Miss Rabbit. She skinned it all up, and they had enough meat to last them a real long time. Now, old Fox never did quite figure out what happened to his hunting sack. But a few days later, he ran into Br'er Rabbit out on the old big road. And old Rabbit said, "Hey there, Br'er Fox, how you doing? What'd you catch when you go hunting the other day?" And old Fox says, "Well, you know, Rabbit, I didn't catch nothing but a head full of good, hard sense." Old Rabbit says, "Well, Fox, if I had known that that's what you was hunting for, I would have loaned you some of mine." Thank you.
Carol, you ready to go? Okay. I'm Carol Mumford. I'm director of the Joel Chandler Harris Association, which owns and operates the Wren's Nest. And I want to provide a special welcome to all of you today. Thank you for coming out. This is a very important meeting. The West End Merchants Association has worked very hard to bring this together. I think and I hope that you looked as you went down the hall at all the exciting projects that are on the board for West End. We are very excited about everything that's about to come to fruition here in West End. The Wren's Nest has been a part of this community for a very long time. Joel Chandler Harris lived here from 1881 to 1908. This has been a museum. It's actually Atlanta's oldest museum. It was established as a museum in 1913. And last year we had visitors from all 50 states and 16 foreign countries. So this is a place that people are coming to when they come to Atlanta. And we are just pleased and proud to be such an integral part not only of the history of Atlanta, but of the future of Atlanta. We are in the midst of a restoration package. I hope a restoration project. I want you to look at your packages. There's a gray sheet in there that will tell you the things we're doing for our restoration. It's very exciting what's going on here. And on the back of that sheet, you'll see a list of names. Those are the people who have already contributed to the restoration of the wren's nest. If your name's not on there, we encourage you to come forward, and we need money, we need in-kind support. We want to restore the wren's nest, and then we want to maintain it for perpetuity. So we invite all of you to join us in that exciting project. I'm now going to turn the program over. Is Janice next? Janice Sikes? Okay. Janice Sikes is going to speak to you. She is the official historian of West End, very active in the West End neighborhood development, and we are now working very feverishly to have the whole West End made a landmark district under the new ordinance that the mayor worked so hard to put into place. So we're going to bring Janice forward now to give you a little bit of history of West End.
It's going to be quick, a very quick history. Let's talk about West End from a social and community perspective. What is happening? Be louder. Okay, I'm very loud. I'm from Mississippi. I can get loud as 10 fields. Get loud. Okay.
Come on up here.
Say, come on. Well, I'm going to talk to you just very briefly about the history of West End. West End started as a separate settlement in 1835, and it was here that traders came to rest at Humphrey's Tavern. And everybody, of course, knows where First National Bank is. Well, that's where the Humphrey's Tavern was, and it was called Whitehall. And at Whitehall began the whole movement of families coming into West End. And as I said, I was going to give you a couple of social and community kind of notes. West End, we want you to remember, is a family community. If you don't remember anything else about the history of West End, it has always been a family community. You're in the backyard of a family house, the Joel Chandler Harris house. And for us, the history of West End that came in 1835, and then, of course, West End was Whitehall, and then in 1864, it became West End because of the railroads. We have railroads bordering West End and makes up some of our boundary lines. In addition to the railroads coming to West End, you had the feeling of a suburb. And so it was in the late 1800s that the West End residents, after having suffered many fires, asked the city of Atlanta to allow West End into the city. So we like to say we were here before Atlanta. Not that that's really true, but it sounds good. And for us, that's really important in terms of marketing. We want to say that we're one of the oldest neighborhoods because we were a city first in 1835. And then moving into the 20s, West End was a bustling business community. And one of our oldest businesses here is Fulton Hardware. And we're very proud of the old businesses that have stuck it out with us. And then we move into World War I and World War II, and as you probably know, we're very close to Fort McPherson. And during both the we are striving now to recapture that kind of commercial identity. And then we move into the 50s, and of course we all remember or have read about Ivan Allen. And Ivan Allen was able to have a new vision for Atlanta. Unfortunately, West End did not become an active part of that vision. So what we're about today as we look at history is bringing West End into Atlanta 2000. And this gathering and other kinds of gatherings like this bring the history to today. And today what we're trying to do in West End is to gather our history together, make it one of the marketable components of the development and economic forward-looking aspects of Atlanta. So, with the history and becoming a landmark or historic district, depending on what our research says, we will be able to provide a marketing base using our history. So we are now moving to what the Atlanta Journal-Constitution said in 1890. In 1890, the Journal-Constitution said, West End is a community of families with their horses and their gardens and their cows. We still have our gardens, and instead of cows, you can view our goats on Lawton Street.
Good afternoon. First, I'd like to thank the Mayor, Andrew Young, for taking time out of his schedule to come. And I would like to especially acknowledge our sponsor today, First American Bank, who is the first bank here in the West End to take a stand in building a very positive partnership with the West End community. In addition, I would also like to thank Georgia Power and the law firm of Morgan, Scott and Associates who have assisted in preparing and planning for this event. And of course, Atlanta University has joined hands with the West End, and are acting as a research and development center for the various programs that we are undertaking. Our second major objective here today is to let you know that we view the West End as the gateway to Southwest development in Atlanta. And our goal is to become a premier community in Atlanta where we can be proud to live, work, and tour. Retailing, as you might know, has been a very strong suit in the West End. In fact, statistics indicate that many of our retailers do better than the national averages right here in the West End community. Our goals include expanding and diversifying our economic base in terms of the communications, technology innovation, and a light industrial base. To support an overall economic development plan that will focus on over a 10-year period. So therefore, we have short and long-term objectives in stabilizing the West End community. We also feel that the residential stabilization, residential development is very critical to any commercial development in the West End. Our basic objectives then become to retain, expand, and create business opportunities in the West End. We would like to also acknowledge that we feel that we offer something in terms of travel tourism industry. Toward that end, we are very proud of the Wren's Nest, the Shrine of the Black Medina, as well as the Hammond's House. And we need your support in moving forward in this particular area. I want to highlight for you a couple of major projects, and then I have a major assignment that we would like for you to participate in. And that is to highlight for you the current developments and those developers who are working with us. The current developments include a $36 million Science Technology Center at Clark Atlanta University, and I believe there is Mr. Rankin here as well as the Vice Chancellor who is representing AU. You might just make your presence known. A $36 million retail office development by Burns and Cordy as a developer. Would you stand? The $3 million renovation to the West End, and I believe A.J. Jemison is here. Would you stand? The $7 million project for the Candler Warehouse. Would you please stand? Tom Boland? Okay. Okay. Yes. A $1.2 million West End marketing and promotions program. A $10 million West End Audio Video Training and Technology Center. And we are very pleased to have today two professional entertainers who bring to the table much investment, and I would like to acknowledge them. Bobby Massey, who is with the OJs. And also a $3 million People Street housing development on by Gibraltar Land. And I believe Noel Khalil is here. And Stuart McGregor, the Vice President of Construction, is here. And we are very excited about these things. So you can see that there is development occurring in the West End. And our major objective, of course, is to tie this into an overall economic development plan. I am hoping that by now you most certainly have in your hands what we call Adopt the Project West End 2000. What we'd like for you to do as you are looking at and thinking about the message that the mayor will bring and the comments, we'd like for you to consider our Youth Entrepreneurship Institute, which Khalila Hassan, a black female manufacturer, has embarked upon in conjunction with WEDAC, Khalila Hassan. Housing developments and renovations, we feel that Gibraltar is an anchor, but we've got to go further. So we need your help with that. Historic preservation of the West End, of course, is another area. Broad marketing and promotions. And we mentioned that we'll be working with Atlanta University on a comprehensive redevelopment plan. You'll also note commercial, industrial technology development, travel and tourism. If you would please fill this out and make a commitment and stand with the developers and the partners that have already joined the West End in making the West End the premier place for us to live, work, and shop. Thank you. Mr. Cuffey.
Very briefly, Mayor Young and all of the officials are here today and developers. 3 weeks ago, the leadership of the West End community met at Atlanta University, and we had a Saturday morning retreat. And we were impressed by the fact that these leaders knew what was needed for the West End to move it into year 2000. I understand that from some years, studies have been made on what the West End community ought to be. But I was impressed by the fact that when these leaders came together, they said, here is what we need for our communities, for our children in the future. And Atlanta University has said that we have committed resources from the presidents of the Atlanta University Center to provide those resources necessary to assist West End in becoming what it ought to be, the gateway to the Southeast. I think that with the 10,000 students we have at Atlanta University who go to the Lennoxes and other places in Atlanta, taking their monies to spend for things that they need, indeed they ought to save some of that money to be reserved for the West End community. We believe that, I think as Dave Norman said from the city of Atlanta, that the time is right for the West End. It's coming to its own, and we were so impressed by the leadership of Councilman Cuffey, who brought us together and say it is time and let us move forward. Atlanta University is committing its resources to a comprehensive development plan, not a study, but a plan that will give us step-by-step phases of getting the West End to be or to reach its full potential as a gateway to the Southeast. We're excited about what's happening to the West End. We're excited about the leadership of community leaders. We're excited under Mayor Young's administration. The city of Atlanta is committed to moving forward the West End, and we expect to play a major role in helping to develop this community where all of us can be proud in the future. Thank you very much.